If you want people to really engage with your movie, I think you need to put a lot of effort into subtext. Yes, there are a lot of things that go into making a great movie, but I think that subtext might just be the most important. If you think about a scene where one character is saying, "I love you," and you can see that they love the other person, and the other characters might be saying, "I hate you," and you can see that they hate the other person, well, it's kind of okay. But if you have a scene where a character says, "I love you," but their body, their gestures, their eyes tell you that they actually hate them, they don't love them, and maybe the opposite's happening on the other side. The person's saying, "I hate you," but their eyes, their gestures, their actions tell you that actually they love them. Now that's much more interesting because it just opens up a myriad of questions. If they love them, why are they saying they hate them? And why are they behaving this way? Or if they hate them, why are they saying they love them? What's the backstory here? What's going on? What's motivating this? Do they have another life? Is that why they're doing this? Is there another lover involved? There's endless questions that come up to my mind just thinking about that one simple little scene because of the subtext. So, and subtext is dialogue versus intent. So, you can say the dialogue, but what's the intention? So I think that you really need to, and the way you say it, of course, as well, I think you really need to focus on subtext. And it's certainly one of my tasks that I'm going to go through and review anything that I think is ready, script-wise, whether it's a page script or a feature script, and just, honestly look at it and think, what's going on here? Is there a more interesting way I can use subtext to tell this story? Excuse me, because you don't want to be too expositional. Well, you don't want to be expositional at all, really. You really switch off. You find you switch off for movies that just tell you everything and don't show you much. So you want to be able to work things out yourself, put the pieces together yourself. You don't want to be spoon-fed the whole way through the movie. And I'm just going to blow my nose for a sec. I'm back. As well as the obvious way, as I just mentioned, of subtext being dialogue versus meaning, subtext can be, I was going to say delivered, but you can use subtext in other ways as well. You can use visual subtext. So you could have a piece of furniture between two characters, telling you that there's some distance between them, that kind of thing. You could use color to represent subtext. So whether it's color in the set or in the costume. So a lot of what goes on in films is trying to give you as much information as possible without telling you that. They want you to pick up on it unconsciously, so you don't have to work to do it. A lot of it will happen unconsciously, and then some of it will happen consciously, like trying to understand the meaning or the motivations of the character or the meaning of the story, things like that. So things like props and color, when they're used as visual subtext to help inform your understanding of the whole story. Silence. I love silence. And when there is silence, what does that tell us? I mean, or what it does is it makes you wonder what they're thinking, or try and work out what they're thinking through without hearing the words, which I find really interesting. Excuse me, because the words often, even in our everyday life, the words often come out as what we think the other person wants to hear, which isn't necessarily the truth. So silence is wonderful. You look at a film like Drive, where he hardly says anything, and it's pretty much all subtext, and it's brilliant. It's just brilliant and captivating. You know, when you first hear about a movie that, you know, very little dialogue, you think, oh, well, that's going to be a bit dull, isn't it? But no, you look at films like Drive and it's, you know, it keeps you on tenterhooks all the way through. It's wonderful. Okay. And props, of course, much like set and costume, you know, a prop, be it, it might be an heirloom or, you know, a watch or something, excuse me, or anything. It could also have some meaning, which you don't find out. You know, you only discover as the story unfolds. And subtext can kind of be used for the whole film as well. If you think about Get Out, you could argue that Get Out uses horror as a metaphor, excuse me, horror as a metaphor to talk about to talk about the subtext of racial politics, for example. So it can cover the whole movie as well as instances in the movie. So it's just, you know, I can't overstate how important subtext is. And the movies that you remember, the movies that you keep going back to, the movies that have an impact on you are significantly because of subtext. So yeah, I think that we probably all need to think more about subtext as filmmakers, and I'm certainly going to. And it's such a powerful tool that, you know, I mean, there is place for exposition, like at the start of, you know, that first Star Wars movie. You got all that scrolling backstory and history, but in things like that, I think you need that to set you up, because you're going into some completely alien, unknown world. So you need a bit of something to just give you a little bit of a heads up about what's going on. But in the vast majority of movies, you don't need that. You don't need exposition. And even the example I showed you, I talked about earlier about one character saying, "I love you." Excuse me. Even that, if you can find a way to do that differently, I mean, it may be correct for the situation, but in general, we don't go around saying "I love you" to each other all the time. What we do is we show it through gestures, through physicality, through touch, through, you know, just showing. We show, we don't tell. a lot of the time. And that's what we should do in movies. Well, I'm going to get back to my scripts, start going through and trying to, enhance the subtext that may or may not already be there, and see if I can improve my scripts. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the next one.